This is the Business Breakfast on Dubai Eye 103.8.
With Abu Dhabi Finance Week. From the 9th to 12th of December. Get your tickets at adfw.com.
Right, yeah, finance very much on the agenda at the moment, and rather fortuitously we'll talk all things finance now. The capital markets as a viable path for exits in MENA is the headline of the latest white paper from the team at Shorooq, a collective effort to deepen the world's most exciting region. Just how exciting is it when it comes to investment and finance? Well, let's get some more insight into said paper from Dr. Bilal Baloch, the partner, one of the partners at Shorooq, who's a busy man at the moment. So, Bilal, thank you very much indeed for your time this morning. Really kind of you.
Good morning, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Let's get what's the key insight from the paper?
So I think there's been a lot of excitement around capital markets across the region. Our goal with this white paper that we did in conjunction with the London Stock Exchange was to bring to light some of the structural elements of that excitement and what more we can do as a collective ecosystem to strengthen it. I'd say there's three main insights. We need to collectively work together to educate retail investors and investors generally about the types of companies that are coming up around the corner for capital markets and for the exits there. The focus of the paper is more on tech IPOs. So, these are companies that are household names, but we'd like to bring to light what we can all do to talk more about their fundamentals, their growth trajectories, the equity stories, the founder stories, so on and so forth. The second element is really around institutional research. How can we bring about, as an ecosystem, more information on these private companies such that more advisors, bankers, exchanges can learn about them, making for a much more stable and successful IPO story. And then the third takeaway from the report is really around last mile capital. We've seen a thriving early stage ecosystem here in the region. Investments coming in from sovereign wealth funds, from VCs, from alternative asset managers, so on and so forth. But the IPO story, the exit story, will only become richer if the last mile capital going into companies that are getting ready for the IPO, which, for all intents and purposes can take multiple years, from a strategy level can take several years. How do we get companies more prepared so that not only do they have successful public listings, but also then go on to thrive thereafter?
I mean, you can't have a conversation about capital markets here in the MENA region without mentioning IPOs. We've seen plenty here. We've seen plenty discussed. And there seems to be more of a flavour of it here in the region than does internationally. I mean, how does it compare in terms of international IPOs at the moment? What is the potential therein?
Yeah, so the focus of the report is very specifically on technology IPOs. Yeah. And while we've had examples such as Fowry in Egypt, Jazz in Saudi Arabia, these are minuscule compared to the market for technology startups in the region. Now, part of that is okay because this is a nascent market that is very rapidly coming up to speed. The digital economy in MENA has a very long way to go and has the most exciting growth trajectory over the next 10, 15 years and is on its way to almost quadruple in size over the next 10 years. So that's exciting. And so it's okay that to date there haven't been as many tech IPOs as we would have liked to have seen. I think what's most exciting is the pipeline. I think Saudi Arabia, for example, now features in the top 5 globally of having the most exciting in terms of size and quality pipelines in the world for technology companies. We're likely to see in the UAE between 3 and 5 tech companies going public over the next 12 to 18 months. We haven't even seen 5 in the last 10 years. So I think the excitement is more around what's to come rather than what's been.
Obviously, a lot of focus on attracting international investors, getting the FDI, amongst others, into. How key is collaboration here? We got several financial hubs all of a sudden. Is collaboration key?
Collaboration is absolutely key because, one of the things that separates the UAE and generally the GCC in today's market is the kind of global standard growth that we're experiencing, together with an introspection to learn. This paper is an example of that. We did it in conjunction with the London Stock Exchange. And what was exciting about that opportunity was we had a chance to learn from their institutional in-house research on public markets around the world. We had them attend the round table and also bring some of their advisors and their partners to it. And we brought together partners from across the UAE ecosystem, from the investment banking side, the advisory side, regulatory, etc., to have a rich conversation precisely to do what you said, which is to learn from one another. And one of the takeaways was also, we should be also talking about dual listings, right? We're seeing more and more companies, more and more investors from the UK think about our part of the world in terms of advising their companies to list. This was not the case 10 years ago. There are companies in our part of the world here that are being courted by investors and exchanges now to their exchanges. So this is a real sea change. But of course, we want to strengthen capital markets here. And we also would like to see companies from abroad thinking about dual listing here. So I think collaboration is central to what we're talking about, both in the report, but also in the ecosystem largely.
Bilal, 30 seconds with you just to wrap up on this one as well. I mean, and it's rather fortuitous, again, that we've got this report ahead of Abu Dhabi Finance Week next week and everything that's going on. And obviously, we'll see you down there. It's going to be a busy time. But still opportunities for investors here. Is the house call at the moment from Shorooq?
Absolutely, opportunities here in abundance. Again, we're focused on technology, but as a firm, Shorooq is also looking at assets across different classes, constantly looking to react and respond to what's happening in the market. We're seeing exciting opportunities in tech-enabled businesses, technology businesses, in real estate, in healthcare. And I think you'll see that next week when we're all together at Abu Dhabi Finance Week. Investors are flocking here from around the world exactly for those opportunities.
It's a date, all right? We will see you down there, Bilal. We look forward to it as well. Thanks so much indeed for joining us this morning. Thanks for the white paper as well ahead. Available courtesy of all the team at Shorooq. Make sure you check it out ahead of Abu Dhabi Finance Week. We are broadcasting live from Abu Dhabi Finance Week for the entirety of next week.
I tell you what, you say it's a date. If you want to book a table at Zuma in Abu Dhabi
already,
next
mate.
week.
Sorted all that last week. Don't you worry about that.
This man has Wasta.
Down.